Hey folks, Phil Gallagher here. I'm back for your next dose of daily D&T. We're still playing the more or less stock list that I showcased last time around while my opponent's mulliganing. I'll just pull that up real quick. So it's nothing all that complicated. We have Brimaz and Avengers in the flex slots, and we're trying out Gideon and a set of 3 Rest in Peace for the sideboard. Hey, what do I think about this opener? It's not great. I'm going to be keeping it. Like, as a 6-card hand, I'd be super happy with, like, Plains, Port, Waste, Avenger, Stoneforge, so I don't really think this is worth shipping. But if my opponent's playing any sort of combo deck, I'm just going to be dead. Let's reset my upkeep stop that I turned off last game due to time reasons. I'll Stoneforge here. Probably should have done that off of Rashat and Port, but I've just been so conscious to play out my basic lands first because there's so many red and 6 decks running around. Spellsnare? Hardcast Days? Grixis Control. Grixis Delver. That's fine. Like, I can wasteland my opponent off of a color next turn while also playing a Mother of Runes around Days. 4-color Delver. Don't run and 6 me. Son of a gun. Yeah. This is why I'm so not hot on D&T right now, by the way. Let's jam this sword into a Daze. Because wastelanding now does nothing, and porting puts me further behind. Next turn I do get to play Avenger and equip a sword to it, though. So if that works, it will be very strong. It's unclear how deep down the black or green routes my opponent is at this time. Because there's a Rug Delver deck running around that essentially has just a handful of black cards. And then there's essentially a Grixis Delver deck that splashes this. Don't bolt me. This Ren and 6 is closer to ultimate than I would like. What on earth is this? Another true name? Aleovold? Aleovold. Alright, we'll see if my opponent has another removal spell or a counter spell. It's possible my opponent has Abrupt Decays. Either main or side. It's also unclear if they're actually a Delver deck or if they're just a mid-range deck that happens to have thrown Days in there because, hey, why not? Do I want to get Sleevald out of here? I don't super care about it, but it'll attack me back if I don't hit it. So let's get it out of there. Let's attack you. See if my mom gets Abrupt Decay and I'm super sad. Not super sad. So let's shoot this to keep it from going ultimate. Do I care? You ultimated that right now and you just got to lightning bolt me a bunch? Yeah, I'd care. Thank you, deck. Really do appreciate how cooperative you're being. I'm starting to think about how I'm going to sideboard against my opponent. I wish they would show me some more cards so I could get a better feel for what side of the spectrum they're on and what their color ratios really are. Because it's feeling like Rug Splash Black. Another tropical island? Yeah, so there's probably only 2 black sources in the deck. This is probably Rug Splash Black. For maybe like 2-ish Abrupt Decays, a Leovold, and a Plague Engineer, or something like that. Boy, I hate Renin 6. It's so good against my favorite deck. A little song I wrote for you all. Just now. I know. I'm a fantastic poet / songwriter. Preordain's in there too. That's interesting. That card's started to fall out of favor. Because they've printed better cantrips. Like the Astrolabe. Seriously though, that card's way better than it looks. Alright, Tarmogoyf. Alright, that's inconvenient for me. But we were already in an inconvenient situation, so we'll make the best of it. Oh, come on! Come on! I really needed like any creature there. Tarmogoyf holds back my mom. The true name Nemesis continues to whack me for 3. And I only survive 4 more hits, but really less than that because Renin 6 pings to my dome will start to become relevant. Rip Schadenports. A good thing I have so many lands, though. Rest in Peace is going to be insane against this deck, whatever we want to call it. That's for sure. So definitely feel good about going up to 3 of those. Renin 6 gets to ultimate if I can't do anything to it this turn. Which is disastrous because even if I drew perfectly, I probably couldn't beat the Renin 6 emblem before I get lightning bolted 3 times. Okay, my opponent is playing Delver and just did not draw most of the Delvery side of the deck. That's very important for me to know. I don't know if I would have played that Delver if I were them. But they may not be aware of how little like Delver they looked. Now what are you thinking about, friend? Well, this does some things. So let's Swords to Plowshares the Tarmogoyf. Give them a bunch of life. And then try to redraw into something better. There's worlds where I'm just supposed to shoot the Delver, because some of my only paths to victory involve me drawing, like, Recruiter for Phyrexian Revoker, revoke the Renin 6, then get a source of life gain. It's a bit greedy. I'm still going to shoot the Renin 6, but I wanted to mention that. I guess I'm not technically dead. I could top deck Jete. Or I guess Stoneforge. Is that even good enough? Stoneforge, file it in, cast Jete, equip Jete, attack. Kill Delver with Jete counters. It's some weird timelines where I win this game of Magic. I also wonder if this run-in 6 shouldn't just start pinging me. The run-in 6 starting to ping me just means that there's just one more lethal threat on the board. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let's take this up. All right. There's nothing I could do this game. So my opponent is a Delver deck, but sort of a weird Delver deck. So the Rips and Path to Exiles are going to be good. The Council Judgments are going to be good. There are other cards I can consider, but let's start here. So I always cut Palace Jailer against any True Name Nemesis deck. I cut Revokers against Delver, even though like it's kind of nice to have access to them for Ren and 6 reasons. I cut Recruiters because they're slow and clunky, and then we'll make some decisions from here about the last couple of cards. I'll probably junk my Sanctum Prelate. And probably trim a Flicker Wisp to round things out. I still have 5 flyers I can trade with Delver. Let's call this good. There's also worlds where I should like consider trimming some of the one toughness creatures even more. One thing I don't like about what I'm doing is I'm going down to 18 creatures. That's very low. And it might be an indication that I'm over sideboarding. Ugh. Very reluctant keep here. This is the sort of hand where if my opponent opens on a Ren and 6, there's nothing I can do. But if they open on just like a bunch of derpy Delvers, then I'm very happy. Delvers and Tarmogoyfs I'm good against. Ren and 6 I'm bad against. Wasteland I'm bad against. Days I'm going to be terrible against. I don't think this one goes back by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not stoked about this hand. If my opponent plays a turn 1 Delver, I will just Sword Soul Plowshare it immediately and not play it around Days. So if this gets dazed, I can stick the Jete. Ooh. Well, let's play a Mother of Runes into a Ren and 6 and see how that feels. Well, that's a much better exchange than what I was imagining. Goyf. Smells like Goyf. What am I cutting them off of? Wastelanding them off. Either one of these will take them off something. First, let's see if this Swords to Plowshares resolves. It's going to play that around double Days. Alright, it just resolves. So this takes off Goyf and Renin 6. This takes off Lightning Bolt and Renin 6. I could also just port and defer the decision a turn. But if they have a Wasteland and they Wasteland my Wasteland, I feel kind of bad about that. Alternatively, I can just jam Jitte and keep my lands in play. I don't hate that. But if they true name me, I feel super bad about it. Let's do something that makes it harder for them to get a new threat into play. That also taxes a Leovold if that's still in their deck for some reason. Wasteland just feels so bad in the current format. In D&T. Alright, well, I'm glad I didn't port. I'm going to jam this here rather than porting. Because I feel like the Jitte is very likely to resolve in that spot. They didn't have the ability to Renin 6 this turn. So I felt safe enough doing that again. Now we're just waiting on a white source. And then I can, like, Flicker Wisp and do Rashad and Port shenanigans until then. So hopefully my opponent can't Renin 6. I'll get to port them. But if they, like, go land Renin 6, minus Renin 6, I think this game is probably over. Yay! Yay! Alright, so I feel like I have a good portion of the threats answered now. If I pump and they Lightning Bolt in response, I'll lose my Flicker Wisp. So we're just going to hold those counters there for this turn. Don't know that there's very much that I lose to now. Abrupt Decay for the Jitte? Or the Flicker Wisp holding the Jitte? decay on the Jade. Shouldn't you have done that on your turn, though? Because this is about to happen. Don't think I deserve to take that one that easily. So on the draw, these Thalias are going to be way worse. Due to Renin 6. If I take these out, I need to play other threats. My other threats would be slower. I'd be looking at some of this stuff, or maybe needles or revokers. Thalia is still great when Thalia does Thalia things. Don't think I can cut any creatures for non-creature threats. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it like this. This is a good opener. It's somewhat dependent on the vial resolving to be good, though. It doesn't have to be the first vial that resolves, but I need a vial to resolve. The first one resolving is very, very preferable. Great. And my opponent can still Ancient Grudge or equivalent and just get rid of it, so I'm not in the clear yet by any stretch of the imagination. Like, my opponent can just go land, Renin 6, derpa 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 derp, and I'll be sad. I'm not sure what I'm going to do on my turn. Could just jam a Stoneforge, but I might just be better off playing another Aether Vial if my opponent doesn't present a threat to me. I'm just dragging the game on and exposing as few of my threats as possible to counter magic. Why, yes. I will pay for 8 days. Would you like to do it again? No. You just wanted to save your tropical island. I can respect that. So I'm really far ahead in the virtual mana war. I'm ahead on board. My opponent's using their turn to wasteland my wasteland. This is favoring me even if they play a Delver here. And if they just Ponder here, I'm in great shape. Yeah, that's fine. So I could put in this hard cast Agite, see if that gets dazed. Otherwise I could just like port my opponent, end of turn, put in a Stoneforge, and likely produce a Batter Skull. I like that plan. So we'll let this trigger resolve. No flip. So we'll port that down. So they're not going to run in 6 this turn now. You want to come in with that Delver? Come on. Come on. Oh my god. They like Mox Diamond and run in 6 me, and this is like the greatest next level play ever. They can have it. And I'll just pass the turn. Your run in 6 is fine. I don't mind that. Plus, you get a Scalding Tarn. That's fine. You've already played your land for turn. This is fun. I'm enjoying this. Put a Sword of Fire and Ice into play. Play Caracas. Put this here. That way if they have a bolt, they can hit this. That kills run in 6. This hits you. This hits you. Oh my god, another Wisp. I could Wisp out one of their lands, but I think this Wisp is just my safety net for if something goes wrong. Sure, Tarmogoyf's fine. Another Tarmogoyf is also fine. I haven't done the math yet to see if my opponent's dead. 5, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, they're dead. But for Rubbins. Woo! We got there, but Ren 6 definitely warping that matchup. Good stuff. Aether Vial, even when you cut your creature count relatively low, still can do some disgusting things. We got a ton of value out of that. Cheers, folks. I'll see you tomorrow, and if you're enjoying this, consider supporting Daily D&T. Links in the comments.